it's Tessa. So today I am working on a project that I'm actually surprisingly really excited for. I'm eventually going to make a second version of this skirt as well because I have some more yarn coming for it specifically. This is just I really want to make this because somebody else made it, now I have to make it. But I am going to be making the Crochet Granny Stitch Chevron Striped Maxi Skirt tutorial by Shyer Crochet, so S-H-Y-L-E-R Crochets. She posts a ton of patterns and stuff, so I really recommend looking at her video tutorials. They are, so far the two I've looked at are fantastic. But I got this idea to make this from another YouTuber called Haylie Nyght. She does similar stuff with knitting, or with crocheting specifically, I think. And she made the skirt using a dark red and a black, and I thought it looked so cute. And since my hair's orange, I thought a cute contrast to that would be using a green and black. And so I think this will look so cute worked up. I am gonna get started on it shortly, but I also wanted to tell you a little bit of a cool thing about this pattern itself. It's also similarly a made to measure. That just means you make it up to a certain width and then continue onto it instead of having to do a set number of rows. But with that, basically all I'm doing is I'm making 2 triangles, and each panel, each triangle is half my widest point. And so then when you attach the 2 triangles, they should attach equally to fill out your circumference. I'm really bad with words today. And from there, you continue to work on it down, and then at the end you do the waistband piece. I'm not planning on making this as long as it is in the pattern. However, that is also dependent on how much yarn I have. I have about 1.5 skeins of this, and then this is just a random black yarn I have, but I have 2 or 3 skeins of a solid black from Loops and Threads Impeccable. So I think I'm going to use that, and then if I need to, use this black yarn as a backup. I'm pretty sure this is Red Heart Super Saver. I don't actually remember, but based on the feel, that's what I think it is. And then this pattern as well is a specific color repeat or row repeat. You do 5 rows of one color, 2 rows of the second color, 1 row of the first color, and then 5 rows of the second color again. You're basically switching back and forth and repeating of rows of 5, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 5, 2, so on. And it creates a really nice pattern and looks really cute overall. I'm hopefully going to start it shortly, and I will come back when I have the 2 panels, at least one of the panels made. Okay, semi late night update. It's almost 10 p.m. I'm going to bed shortly, but I've been really busy the last couple days working on some custom orders, but those are done now. So I finally was able to get back into the granny skirt I was working on. I have both of my triangles done, and they're at the point now where they're both slightly above my half point for my waist. So now all I have to do is just connect the corners using the tails essentially that are left over. And then I will start my next row in the second space. So not the space with the chain 4 at the end, or the chain 1 double crochet 1 at the end, in the space right after that, because what we're going to do is connect it to the next panel, essentially doing a decrease but not actually decreasing. Alright, so last night I did the connecting row for the black, and I did the first row of the green again of 5. Currently this is not very long, doesn't even cover halfway down my butt in the back, so I am going to add quite a few extra rows to this. Once I add the right amount of length, so where the points end, then I will check in again on how to do the shaping for the rest of the skirt to just be flat and not be 2 separate points. Okay, so I've started going down the side panels on both sides of the skirt. I made sure it was long enough to cover everything. I'll also likely wear shorts or leggings with it, regardless. And I'm thinking, I don't think I talked about it yet, but I'm thinking of knitting the waistband to keep the overall stretch. I feel like if I crochet it, I'm just going to crochet it too tightly, and it's not going to be able to come up, obviously. But that is where we are at. So I will check in again once I get started on the waistband and finish up the sides. Here is the skirt pre-waistband. Let me tuck my shirt in real quick. I ended up adding a row of single crochets across the top here, just so that once I start the ribbing, there's like a foundation row essentially. And then I did 2 rows at the bottom here. The only thing I did differently was, instead of using the 5mm hook I was already using, for the second row of single crochets I used a 4mm hook, and I did the waistcoat stitch instead because I thought it looked a little bit nicer. I think regardless I'm gonna steam this skirt, just because it is acrylic and that will help some of it relax a little bit, but I really like how it comes in because of using that 4mm. Here is a full look. I only have about 10 to 12 ends to weave in as well, which is really exciting, because the big reason why I really did the single crochets across the top and bottom was just to catch all of those ends so I don't have to weave in a million of them, since we know how much I hate weaving in ends. But there we go. I'm going to get started on the waistband tonight and probably finish it tomorrow, so we will check in then when it's done. Here is the completed skirt. Also, sorry for the new hair scare. Okay, I was feeling a little manic and decided to do my hair half blonde. Let me know what you think. Anyway, skirt is finished. I actually have quite a bit of range of motion. It doesn't really look like I do, but because I ended up doing the bottom row of single crochets in a 4mm while the rest of the skirt is done in a 5mm, it kind of brings it in a little bit. I think it makes it look a little bit nicer as well. Also, I think this is a first for one of my videos, and I've been doing this for about a year now. I weaved in all my ends. I know, claps, thank you. But yeah, this is the skirt. I did a knit rib, like I mentioned I was going to do. Oops. I didn't do it very high. I did it just long enough to where it was kind of sat comfortably. I think I mentioned this as well. I did the waistcoat stitch, I cannot say that, on the bottom ribbing as well. So I did 1 row of single crochets and then, can you stop being itchy? Come here. Come here. There you go. And then after that first row of single crochets, did a second row, and the way the waistcoat stitch works is, instead of just inserting your hook and doing normal single crochet, you put it in the V instead of the stitch, so they kind of stack on each other differently. I think that really actually added a nice little look to the skirt overall. Let me get changed. Actually, I also thought it'd be nice to show you kind of how I would style this as well. I'd probably just wear this top, skirt, my leggings underneath. It's a little more see-through than, you know, is ideal. So this is probably how I would wear that, or I'd wear like biking shorts underneath with nylons. Probably is what I would do instead. I don't know. Or add elastic fabric to the inside so I don't have to wear anything, no like pants or anything underneath it. I don't know. Let me know if you want to see more of like how I'd wear my handmade items. Anyway, let me take this off and give you a closer look at the skirt, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here is a closer look at the skirt. You can see the knit ribbing I did. You will also see the dog fur that's on the skirt, because of course everything I own is covered in dog fur. But you'll see the knit ribbing I did. I think it looks pretty nice. The cast off I did, I think is technically the tubular cast off. I'm probably wrong on that, but that's not the point. Basically, I just did a nice cast off that would give me some extra give just in case. And then the overall look of the skirt, the half panel, I think this looks honestly fantastic. I love the way the colors turned out. I think it looks so good. Especially since I don't have the orange hair anymore, the green doesn't clash as much with like my normal outfits. Let's see if I can show you the waistcoat stitch. It might be a little hard to see just because it is done in black yarn, but I can try. Let's see, focus. So I did 2 rows of single crochet basically, but that second row I stacked the stitches. That is the skirt for you. The only ends that I technically did not weave in, which they're weaved in by my standards, so leave me be, but it's the start and end of the knit rib. I'm really bad at like fully weaving in my ends on knit items. I don't know what it is, especially when it's just the ribbing like this. I really don't know what the problem is. So instead I weaved in what I could, tied a knot, and then glued it down so that it's just not going to come undone. But that is this video. Let me know what you think of the skirt. I think I'll try to link Haylie Knight's video, who I got this video idea from, and the original video of the pattern for this. I'll link both of those below if you ever want to look at them. And that is it for this week's video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!